Hi everyone, Kim Kraft here again. Let's talk about now how this course works. In the LMS, if you would, under the section Course Overview and Important Documents, take a look at this section here where it says how this course works. Once again, I'm going to go into my teacher version here. Yours may look a little bit different, but it's pretty similar. So here we go. Great beginnings start here. And here's a picture actually from Full Sail Live. This is where graduation takes place and different events on campus. And that's of course, the soundboard where they control everything. It's really interesting. You'll find this document here. It's a Word doc called How This Course Works. Go ahead and open that up. And you should see this guide right here, MPD Guide to Projects and Collaboration, How the Course Works. In weeks 1 and 2 in this class, we talk about how traditional publishing and distribution work. And in weeks 3 and 4, we talk about how self-publishing and distribution work. In order to be able to really understand the concept, it's a good thing to have a piece of creative content, the kind of publishable content that we work with in this class to use for the different assignments that we go through. The assignments are very, very real world. Now, I'll say in this class, nobody is expected to enter into any contracts or pay any money or do anything like that. You will be working with industry standard documents and doing industry standard procedures, but we're just practicing in this class. When the class is over, though, if you wished to actually attempt to traditionally publish or self-publish your content, or perhaps to assist a friend or a relative do the same, you'd be able to do that most likely. All right, so here's what we do. I'd like you folks to take a look at this, and here are the 4 categories that we work with in this class. You notice the title of the class is Entertainment Media Publishing and Distribution. There are 4 categories of entertainment media we cover. They include, number 1, printed media. This includes books and magazines. Number 2, music. This includes original compositions and arrangements, singles, albums, arrangements, those sorts of things. Number 3, film and television. This includes scripts, teleplays, screenplays, documentaries, short films, high concept pitches, and so on, even webisodes and webiseries. And then finally, games, which would include hardcore platform games, mainstream games, also social games and apps. So your mission is, number 1, select a category that you would like to work in this class. We will cover all the categories. You will learn about all of them, but for the sake of the class and the assignments, please select one that appeals to you personally and professionally. You can be very creative. Not everyone's final project has content that's capable of being published and distributed. So if your final project business is, let's say, a restaurant or I don't know, a golf course or something that has nothing to do with entertainment media publishing and distribution, you can be completely creative in this class. You can select one of these for fun. Maybe you're just interested in it, or you've got a great idea for a TV show, a great idea for a movie or a video game or a book. You don't actually have to have the real content. I'm going to ask you ultimately, after you choose what category interests you the most to work with throughout the course, I then am going to ask you to select a piece of real or hypothetical creative content from within one of these categories. As I say, nobody has to run out and quick write a book or produce an album or what have you. Some students really have done that, and they would like to use this course as a platform to see how to get their content out there and hopefully make some money. You could do that. Likewise, if you manage a band or have clients or friends or family members that do have existing creative content, such as a book manuscript, a demo, recordings, scripts, screenplays, and you'd like to learn how to get that work out there on their behalf, maybe after the class is over, for example, you could choose that. On the other hand, you could be completely creative because you don't actually have to have any real content. You can make something up and have fun with it. Be creative this month if you like. That's okay. All you will need is just enough information to talk about the creative content. The rest of the course is really focused on assuming the content exists. How we get it out there, how do we publish it and distribute it? That's the main focus of the class. So after you've selected your category, select a piece of real or hypothetical creative content: book, magazine, music, single, album, for example, script, screenplay, teleplay, any genre of film or TV, or a game, hardcore platform game, social game, or perhaps an app. Okay. And again, that could be either yours, or you can also take on the real or hypothetical role of an agent who's working with a client. And in that case, you would be doing the pitching for your client's screenplay or your client's book or your client's music, for example. Okay. And here's a couple of these examples. So you'll see how this content is going to be used throughout the course. In Project 1, for example, when we're talking about how traditional publishing works, you have to get an agent. And we'll be learning what agents do, what their terms are in their contracts, and so on, how they go about getting publishing deals, book deals, music deals, film deals, and so on. So in Project 1, you would prepare a standard query or pitch letter. You would select the right kind of an agent, write this pitch letter, and tell them about yourself and about this creative content. The goal of the pitch letter is hopefully they'll take you on as a client with the intent of shopping your work for a publishing deal. Remember, you're not sending this letter out for real, but you will, for practice in this class, be drafting a very real looking query letter, and you'll be asked to locate the name of a very real agent, so that, like I say, at the end of the class, if you wanted to do this for real, you could. In Project 2, we're going to pretend the agent loves your query or your pitch letter. They want to take you on as a client. If that happens, they then need to prepare a sales presentation in order to pitch your work for a publishing deal. So depending on the type of content you've chosen for Project 2, you'll be creating material specific to that. For example, if your content you've chosen is music, sorry about that, my email always pops up with stuff. If your content chosen is music, for example, in Project 2, you'd then be creating an electronic press kit or a media kit to showcase it. If your project is a book, in Project 2, you would be working on a book proposal. If your project is television, film, or game, you'll be working on a treatment for it. Again, preparing very real industry standard documents that an agent would expect to receive from you to help with the deal. In Project 3, we shift gears. You see, as I mentioned, weeks 1 and 2, we talk about how traditional publishing and distribution works and the need to get agents and so forth. In weeks 3 and 4, we switch gears and we talk about how self-publishing and distribution works. In that sense now, you're going to use the same creative content that you chose, and you're going to devise a self-publishing business strategy. How would you get it out there on your own? For example, what choice of print-on-demand or aggregator vendor would you choose that would help you get your retail sales codes, possibly help you with manufacturing, get you into the various distribution, retail, wholesale channels, and so on. You would also, in that project, have to devise an appropriate marketing campaign. In this course, we'll be talking primarily about Web 2.0 marketing campaigns and so on, where you don't really need a very big budget. So I think you'll find that very enjoyable. All right. The other exercises are ones you're probably familiar with. You'll be working on a mastery journal assignment. You'll be working on your digital portfolio assignment. The GPS assignment comes back. There'll be some case studies that will put all the material together and so on. So that will round out the experience. By the way, if you're looking at the list and maybe there's something you're interested in but you don't see it, for example, Kim, I don't see photography listed. I don't see choreography listed. I don't see fine arts, you know, print screening or something, you know, something like that. I'm sorry. We can only talk about the major forms of entertainment media in this course, so I ask you please limit it to these. If you go outside of this and choose something that's not listed, such as photography or choreography or something, it's going to be very, very difficult to try to match the assignments with the content. You'll see what I mean very quickly. So if we had, another level of this class or a more advanced class, it'd be nice to cover those areas. But most of what we learn related to one of these should meet the needs personally and professionally of most students in the class. And even if your heart and soul passion is not in the list, you'll still also learn, I think, some interesting concepts that could be useful to you. But as I say, for sake of the assignments and simplicity in doing them, please select creative content from one of these categories, either a book or a magazine, original music composition, a single or an album, for example, a script, a screenplay, a teleplay for film or television, or an idea for a mainstream game or a social game. Okay, I think that should do it. By the way, everybody will be doing these projects individually. Everybody will submit them individually for an individual grade. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I hope that helps everybody. As always, if you have questions, don't hesitate to send me an email and get in touch with me. Okay, thank you so much, folks.